What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to Lakers Talk with me, Gerald. I am on here, man. Just random tonight. I'm not necessarily posting this episode. At least I don't know yet. But how's everybody doing tonight? It is a um, Tuesday night. Tuesday night. Random. Just wanted to get on here, talk about the Lakers, do this episode. See who's all up, see who's all want to discuss the Lakers, discuss anything going on in the NBA, discuss these different games. Various games, happened today. One is currently going on, the last game of the night between the Rockets and the Trailblazers. Right now, it's still got 4 minutes and 32 seconds left in that game. Rockets are up. Right now they're down by one. Rockets are down by one. I actually hope the Rockets lose this game. I don't know why, actually. I think really right now they're in fourth or fifth place, and I don't actually want them to be in fourth or fifth place in the seedings because if they were, that means the Lakers would have to face them in the second round. And I'd much rather the Rockets be in the third position place because then they wouldn't have to worry about, the Lakers wouldn't have to worry about facing them in the second round. So, yeah, I said I wanted them to lose, but really it should be more like they don't. Excuse me. So, yeah, all the other games on the slate, Milwaukee lost, I believe. Clippers lost. Devin Booker ended up hitting a shot at the buzzer to beat the Clippers. It was tied up. I think it was, what was it, 115? Let's take a look at the score. So, yeah, it was tied up 115. Devin Booker hit this turnaround jump shot on, I think he was on Paul George, and Kawhi was right in the vicinity also. But he knocked it down as the buzzer sounded. It was nice. It looked clean. Of course, his teammates, when he fell on the ground or laid down, and then his teammates surrounded him and, of course, crowded him, got all over him, picked him up. It was kind of exciting. So I believe that was the second Clippers loss. They lost to the Lakers and now the Suns. And Paul George and Kawhi looks like they played the entire game. So it wasn't one of those throwaway games. It wasn't one of those ones where they were barely playing. They actually did play, and it looks like they were trying to win, but they lost. With the Bucks, they end up losing to the Nets, 119 to 116. Let's see. I don't know. Antetokounmpo only played 16 minutes. I believe he only played the first half. Same thing with Middleton, only 16 minutes. So you can tell they were resting guys on their team. They weren't necessarily going for the jugular. They weren't trying to get the victory. Just, they were playing, but they didn't play all the starters the full game. So, the Mavericks beat the Kings 114 to 110 in overtime, actually. I didn't watch that game. I did not. Most of these games I didn't watch, to be honest. I just kind of been following up as the day been going along. I kind of check out the score here or there, catch a little video clip or watch a few minutes of the game, but I wasn't really that interested in all these games today. Just the score and who won. That's it. So who else played? The Pacers beat the Magic 120 to 109. Don't really care. Heat beat the Celtics 112 to 106. In the grand scheme of things, I'm not super concerned with the Eastern Conference right now. The Celtics, I think they're in the third spot. They're not really losing their position for the most part, I don't believe. And Toronto's too many games ahead of them for Boston to catch them, so I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about Miami. I really don't care about all that. I just want to see who comes out of the East when it comes to Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston, and maybe Miami. I'm curious what Philly's supposed to be able to do because, people had talked about them all last year and they were supposed to be really nice last year, but, then they got knocked out by Toronto and Kawhi Leonard at that buzzer beater bounce 4 times in the basket type stuff. So, curious to see just who comes out of the East when it comes down. The first two rounds, I'm not too, I don't care too much about on the Eastern Conference. After the first round, maybe the second round, matchups, and then the third round, I'm curious to see, like I mentioned, like Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston, maybe Milwaukee, or excuse me, maybe Miami. Welcome, Dr. Love Radio FM. How you doing today? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. So just so you know, I literally just, normally I get on here and I do these lives and a lot of times I'm planning on posting as a podcast because, I post them on my Lakers Talk with Gerald podcast. I've done 98 so far. If I were to post this one, which I still don't know, I haven't decided yet, it would be number 99. But right now I just decided to, I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Atlanta, by the way. Born and raised born in San Diego, California, raised in California my whole life, between Long Beach and San Diego. Been a Lakers fan since forever, since I was 12 years old, now 45. So, it's been a long minute. And, so diehard Lakers fan, been, my whole life. But so here in Atlanta on the East Coast, 11:38 p.m. And I just kind of, it's like random. Hey, let me just start going live and talking about Lakers, talking about basketball, talking about whatever is on my mind. And really, I've just been discussing the games today so far. I was happy to see that the Clippers lost, Milwaukee lost, and the Celtics lost, which, grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. The seedings, yeah. I do want Houston is playing right now, and I think it's a close game, last I checked. And, okay, 45 seconds left. The Trailblazers are up 107-102. So, okay, looks like the, Trailblazers might get that win because right now Trailblazers are trying to fight for that last position, which actually that's not a good look because I don't want the Lakers to get that. I don't want Portland to get that 9th seed or the 8th seed because most likely they'll have to play Memphis in that little 2-game playoffs. And then, if they got that, then that'll be that won't be an easy first round for the Lakers. I was hoping to have easy first round for the Lakers with Memphis. That should be pretty much a walk in the park. The Lakers should be able to handle them pretty thoroughly in their first kind of playoff. But the way it's looking, Memphis they lost their last 4 games. So they're pretty much just dropping out of this. They were pretty good position with that 8th position, but now they've been losing games and Portland is winning, especially if they win again tonight. It looked like they would be 1.5 games behind Memphis. So I think they would have 5 more games left in the regular season. So what that means for Portland, being 5 more games left, if Memphis loses 1 or 2 more and Portland win 1 or 2 more, then that means Portland jumps in that 8th position. Now, what would happen is some team would have to play, whoever the 9th seed would have to play the 8th seed. But the thing is, whoever the 8th seed is, they only got to win 1 of the 2 games, and then they're moving ahead, and they're going to keep that 8th seed. Whoever's in the 9th seed got to beat that 8th seed twice to get in. So, yeah, if Portland gets that 8th spot, there's no way Memphis is beating Portland twice. Yeah, it's just no way. So San Antonio they still got a chance actually. Maybe even New Orleans if they get lucky. Now I will say too that Phoenix, they've won I think 3 games in a row in the bubble. So I mean if they just keep up that hot streak, they got a chance too because it's a lot. They're playing a lot of these teams in the bubble. So if they keep winning, they could possibly knock some of these other teams off that are trying to get in. So that's just my thoughts on that. So what's going on, everybody? What kind of things would you guys like to talk about? You want to discuss the Lakers? You want to discuss what's going on? Well, let's do a preview of the Lakers' upcoming game. They play tomorrow. They play the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, they got Chris Paul now. And OKC has actually been doing pretty damn well this season. They surprised a lot of people. Most people didn't believe they were going to even make the playoffs. Right now, excuse me, they are in sixth position in the West. Right now, they're a half game behind Utah for that fifth position. So, I don't know how motivated OKC is going to be in this game. I don't know how motivated the Lakers are going to be. We just wrapped up the number one seed in the West, meaning we don't have to win another game. We still got that number one seed. Our position isn't going to change. The only thing that's going to change is how the other teams do and what positions they fall in on the seeding, because that's going to determine who the Lakers play in the first round, who they're going to play in the second round, and so forth. So I believe these playoffs are going to be pretty damn entertaining because no team has a home court advantage now. Throw it all out the window. All the record, the whole season, trying to play to have the home court advantage, try to have the crowd in for us, have, all that motivation it gives us, have the crowd just booing the other team. All that stuff is out the window now. Everybody has an even playing field when it comes to that home court advantage thing because you're playing in neutral gym. Even it being on the East Coast, even it being in Orlando, the fact that there are no fans there to sway or cheer for one team more than the other, it's going to be sheer will. It's going to be sheer who wants it more. It's going to be who has the best chemistry, which team has the most focus, which team just purely come together, want it the most, reach down, play the best defense, the most, this is a combination of all that, a lot of focus, leadership, coaching, and it's going to be a lot of guys that's just personally, being in that bubble, a lot of people, you're out of your routines that you're used to. Most guys are used to, even if they go on the road and go on road trips, you always come back to your hometown. You're always sleeping in your bed every other few days. You're seeing your family, you're seeing your wife, you're seeing your kids. You're doing all those things that you're used to doing. They're routines. So some people had different routines. Some of those things mean more to others than some other people. That might determine the way they play in the game, their motivation throughout, the way their mind wanders when they're sitting on the bench. Imagine if you just been sitting in this campus, this bubble, isolated in your room most of the time. Maybe you might walk and go fishing. Maybe you might walk around the pool. Maybe you might do this. After a while, believe it or not, that stuff starts to get like repetitive. It starts to get boring. It starts to get, monotonous. After a while, when you're doing the same thing over and over, the same place for weeks at a time without your loved ones, without your family. Because everybody always says, yeah, man, it's Disney World. It's a great place. And man, these guys getting food and they're getting that. And yes, yeah, these guys are, living, getting all these good accommodations, but understand they're doing it without their family. They're doing it. It's like being in isolation. It's like being in a camp or being in a cave. I wouldn't even say a cave, but it's like being isolated. I wouldn't even like being in a cave. It's just a big, nice cave. They can still call their family. They can still FaceTime. They can still do those things, but they're not there with their family. And it's just different. It definitely is. Anyone, if you would like to call in, you definitely could do that. You can call in, Dr. Love, or if you have any comments, questions, feel free. This is what I want to do here. I'm going to give a little cheer. Yep. That's the Lakers getting that number one position. Had to give them some props. Had to give them they due. Yeah, Lakers hadn't been to the playoffs in 6 years. Lakers hadn't won the Pacific Division title or the Western Conference title in at least 10 years. So these are big. Even though Lakers in our history, we're used to winning. We're used to getting championships. We're used to winning the Western or Pacific Division. But it's been a while, so we got to actually take time and recognize it and celebrate it, and take a time to recognize that milestone, because that's what that is. It's a milestone for the Lakers. It's a milestone for each of the individual players. They got to take some give themselves a pat on the back. It's been a long season. They've been working hard. They've earned, the recognition for what they've done. Because think about it. Before the season started, the Lakers were getting slandered, like so bad. Like they weren't even, every radio station, every, ESPN, all that stuff was just talking so bad about the Lakers. They were just like dogging them out, saying how bad the organization was, saying that the Lakers were a dumpster fire. I think those were the words that they used. They used a lot of that kind of stuff and slander to talk about how the Lakers were down and out. The organization was so bad, blah, blah, blah. The Lakers weren't going to come, weren't going to be the best team in the West. Most forecasters before the season started, people had them down as low as fifth position in the West, maybe fourth. So that just goes to show, everybody said all this stuff. We couldn't do it. Even when we lost out on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they said we missed out on all the big free agents, and all we got now is scraps. There's no way we're going to build a good team. It's no way possible, but what's left to be able to build a team around LeBron James. And guess what? We not only built a team, we put a squad around LeBron James that had the best record in the Western Conference, the best road record overall in the entire NBA. To this day, we had the best road record in the NBA. That says a hell of a lot right there. I mean, we put together, we thought Dwight Howard, and guys, you can go back to my earlier podcast. I said there was rumor that we were thinking about getting Dwight Howard, and I remember seeing how Dwight Howard looked and what shape he was and his attitude change and motivation that he had. I said the Lakers, we definitely need to pick him up. We will not regret it. He's gonna be a valuable person for us, and he definitely has been. He definitely was, and he's just been great. I mean, we got Danny Green. We got Avery Bradley that's been rejuvenated. Of course, he's not with us in the bubble, but during the regular season, I mean, he had lost all the weight in the off season. He was playing really good defense for us in the regular season, and towards the last few months, he had been knocking down and playing really well from the 3-point range, and in his mid game, shots were really, really good. I mean, and then, re-signed JaVale McGee. We made sure he had a 2-year contract. Even Rajon Rondo, who a lot of people don't agree with, don't necessarily like us re-signing him, but he's valuable to our team also. We re-signed him. I believe we gave him a 2-year also. We signed, we had Caruso that was on a 2-way contract before that. We gave him his first real contract. I believe we signed him for 2 years. So the good thing about that 2 years is it lines right up with what LeBron's contract goes to, at least when he has the ability to opt out. So LeBron signed a 4-year with the ability to opt out after the 3rd year. So those 2-year contracts all lines up with, his contract. So what that does is it makes a solid team. It makes it makes everybody, guys have, they know that they're not going anywhere. Okay. They know that, that there's comfort and they can play together. They can bond together. They can grow. They're, all the rumors are no rumors because they have contracts. They're guaranteed contracts. So they're good to go. So I really believe that, Pelinka deserves general manager of the year, or at least executive of the year, whatever that award is, because he did an outstanding job of putting a good team, our team together, and these guys blended so well right from the jump. There was no getting used to the team. We jumped out right from the beginning, playing very, very well. and just, man, we haven't looked back since. So outstanding job from the whole Lakers staff, management, Rob Pelinka, all the assistant coaches. We got our head coach, even our assistant coaches, everybody, all the way down the line. We've been doing a great job, and Lakers deserve a bunch of credit. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what's going on with that Rockets game. I want to see where they're at. Is the game over? Let's find out. I want to see. Ooh, the game is over. So Trailblazers beat the Rockets. They pulled it out, 110-102. Let's see. I want to know what the box score is. Let's just see who scored what. I see that Westbrook had 15 points, 5 out of 14 field goals. He didn't hit any three-pointers. He was 0 for 2, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. While Harden actually had, 23 points. I'm surprised. He took 17 field goals. Normally, I'm used to seeing Harden take a lot more. He was 3 out of 8 from three-point line. He usually shoots a lot of free throws. He actually only shot 7 in this game. That's kind of different. Interesting. Okay. So Harden played 33 minutes. Westbrook played 35. And they only played 9-man squads so far. That's interesting. But yeah, Houston lost that game. What do the Trailblazers have? Let's see what Lillard played 40 minutes. Lillard and McCollum, both played 40 minutes. So you could tell they're trying to get into this playoffs. They're taking these as the playoffs already. And they only played 8 people. So the Rockets, same thing. They only played 8 people too. Man, that's a playoff rotation right there for both of them. So you could tell both of them were playing to get a better position. Interesting. All right. Well, and these bubble games are almost like playoff games. And I'm talking about all these because they all have an implication on the seeding and who the Lakers may play. With that loss, that puts Houston at a tie with Utah for 4th. They're both 4th and 5th right now. Now, the Lakers are playing OKC tomorrow, who's in 6th. And then they play Houston right after that. So it just depends on, what happens from there. If the Lakers win, blah, 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 where we go. So, yeah, interested to see. Interested to see what happens. Interested to see what the seedings come out to and who we play in the first round. All right. Anyone there? Dr. Love, would you like to call in? Would you like to discuss any topics, Lakers or the NBA? Let me know. And while you are there, if you could, Podbeam, I believe, you can either show me a little appreciation if you can subscribe or follow, Lakers Talk with Gerald, if you could, I would very much appreciate it. Also, if they have some kind of coins or any kind of thing like that, if you can show me a little bit of love on here. I'm trying to get my my live kind of deal up. Earn some pod points, I believe is what it is, or any kind of fan engagement thing there. I believe, some hearts or any deal like that. Not that I'm begging, but if you can show a little something, appreciate it. All right, so what else? What else is going on here? Let's talk about Lakers. So we play OKC. I want to take a look at their roster. I want to see who they got on their squad and who we may be facing come tomorrow. Just to see. Playing the Thunder. Let's take a look on their roster. So the Thunder's roster. All right. So yeah, we got Steven Adams. He's big guy, big center. It lists him at 6'11". I always thought he was about 7 feet, but he's a good 265 pounds. So he's definitely a big body. It never hurts to have a big center, big body that can score rebounds and get those lobs and that kind of stuff, and probably get some blocks and intimidate around the basket. So he's somebody to be aware of. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander he's been playing really well. I've been hearing, but somebody did mention to me that his wife just had a baby, so he may not be there. I'm not quite sure. Other people, let's see, Mike Muscala, which I don't know if he's much of a threat. Who else? Nerlens Noel is their center. I believe he comes off the bench. And of course, you got Chris Paul. Dennis Schroeder has been playing pretty well. Of course, Chris Paul's been balling. You know, he brought them up and got them in a playoff position that nobody expected them to be at. So, Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, Andre Roberson, he actually was out for a long time because he had got hurt a year and a half, I think 2 years ago, something like that. So he finally came back and played some games in this bubble. So, you know, that's good for him. He's a young guy. I believe he's only 28 years old. He was a good defender, I believe, is what he was known for. So, you know, they got a couple guys. I also forgot Danilo Gallinari. You know, he's 6'10". I believe he's a decent shooter. So they got some guys on their squad, you know, decent team. So that'd be interesting. Their leading scorers was Gilgeous-Alexander, which I wasn't sure I don't know if he's playing. Gallinari was second in scoring at 19.2. Schroeder, 18.9. Chris Paul is 17.8. And then Steve Adams is 11 points a game. So they got their starting 5 or 4 is basically they spread the scoring around. So it's not just one threat. Their whole starting 5 for the most part is a scoring threat. So the Lakers, they're one of those teams that looks like they move the ball and share the ball pretty well, and they probably run a lot of good plays here and there. Especially, you know, Chris Paul, a pretty smart player. I'm sure he's got them, his team buying on board. So that'll be an interesting game tomorrow. We will see what that looks like, see how that feels. Like I said, I'm not quite sure. And then on to Houston. Now, because that would be our 5th game in the bubble by the time we get to Houston, I don't know how serious we're going to take it because, as I mentioned, we have the number 1 seed locked up. Really, there's not a big reason for us to play huge minutes in that. I don't, that's why I'm curious to see when we play them because Houston's going to be a good team. They may be playing all their guys because I feel like they're still trying to get their seeding to change up. I think maybe we might play LeBron and them in the first half, and I think maybe they'll probably get rested somewhat in the second half. I don't think we're going to be too concerned about trying to get that win. I think we're just going to leave it up to them because we don't want to overplay our team and we don't want to overplay our guys. I don't think. That's just my thought on it. Who knows? We'll see because, one could say every one of these games in a bubble is almost like a playoff atmosphere vibe. So, but at the same time, I think our focus needs to be just making sure all the players, like the new players like JR, Dion, and also Marquise Morris, we get playing time and they get meshed into our system and figure out how we play together, get our defensive schemes right, get our legs under us, and get our shooting back. So I think those are all the things that we just need to focus on. Not necessarily, the bigger picture is sometimes it could sacrifice a game while you're working on all those good things like that. So to me, that's what I want to focus on. Focus on just getting better team play, getting the new guys integrated, and getting our defensive systems together, getting our shooting, all those good things. All right, welcome, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Appreciate you for joining. What is that? You sent a clap ×1 to the Lakers. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Hey, you the first. Give me some, get a little something, a little props. So shout out to you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think I'm going to try to Let me make sure I favorite you or something like that, all right? Let's see. How do I follow? I'm already following you, so it looks like. But, all right. So now I just followed you. Appreciate that. If you could also follow me back, I would much appreciate it. But yeah, I'm sitting here just talking about, I started doing this live tonight. With not necessarily the thought of posting this as a podcast. Normally when I do the lives, I usually post it as a podcast. So, it's Lakers Talk with Gerald. But I may actually post this one. I don't know. I've been going now for about 30 minutes. I started off just doing this random. It's late where I'm at. I'm in Atlanta, is where I live now. But, so it's just after midnight for me. But I was sitting around and I was like, hey, I want to do a podcast, or I just want to get on here and talk live, like I said, and just talk about NBA. I started off just talking about going over all the games that played today. I was happy to see that Milwaukee lost, the Clippers lost, even Houston just lost, and the Celtics lost. So a bunch of teams that, even though it doesn't make too big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, because, we're going to be in a bubble and we're going to have to see all these teams eventually. But the biggest thing to me is I just didn't want to have to play. I want Houston I want them to either be in the 6th spot or the 3rd spot. I don't want them to be in the 4 and 5, because if they are, that means the Lakers would have to play them in the 2nd round. So that's my only thing I was thinking about. Other than that, though, it's whatever. I just was curious to see who won what game. I'm also curious to see, because Portland won. Portland beat Houston, so they're right there in that 9th position. Look like they're challenging Memphis, so that'll make a big difference, because I think the way Memphis has been playing, they lost 4 straight games, and the way Portland's been playing, it's no doubt in my mind that they would beat Memphis in any kind of playoff play-in game. Now, I believe that Portland may get that 8th spot. The way they're playing, we're going to see. If they get that 8th spot and Memphis gets that 9th position, then that means Memphis would have to beat Portland twice to get into the playoffs, and I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't believe Memphis at this point in time can beat Portland 2 games in a row. So I think that would pretty much guarantee Portland. But at the same time, there's a chance that Memphis might not even get the 9th position. They could fall out altogether. It could be San Antonio. They're right there. It could even be the Suns, who won 3 straight games in this bubble. That if they keep winning like that, they could very well maybe make that 9th seed also and challenge Portland. Now, I think veteran teams like San Antonio, very well coached, I think they could possibly beat Portland twice. However, I would definitely say Portland has the advantage. They would only have to win 1 game, and I'm pretty sure Portland could take care of business and win that 1 game. So it's going to look like it'll be a tough kind of thing for the Lakers. That first round won't be easy, is what I'm saying. I think it's going to be something. It's going to be tough. Every one of these playoff series, I don't think is going to be a walk in the park. I think we're going to have to play our butts off, but I think we got what it takes to get these victories, man. Get this first round. I think it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. We haven't been in the playoffs in 6 years, so even though it's in a bubble, I would have loved to seen it at the Staples Center and all that jazz and all that stuff, but unfortunately we don't have that. And we're not going to have that luxury this time. But I'm enjoying basketball being back, period. Lakers in the playoff in this bubble and seeing what we could do. I want to see what we could do. And with all these great teams in the Western Conference and even the good teams on the Eastern Conference, whoever wins it, if the Lakers wins it, there's not going to be any excuses in my mind. If we win it, we're going to win it because we played our butts off and we earned it. And it's harder to win it, I believe, in these circumstances, in a bubble, being isolated for 2, 3, 4 months, whatever, something like that, give or take, up to 3 months it could take by the time all those, till we get to the finals, and the finals are over. So whoever wins it this time, going to really earn it, going to deserve it. If there's going to be any kind of asterisk on it, it's going to be that it was harder, it was hard fought. So that's going to be real interesting. Excuse me, everybody. Took a little water break. Let me give a little something for the Lakers, because once again, we got to celebrate that we locked up the number 1 position in the West. So here's a little... appreciate them for getting it done. That is nice. Milestone for the Lakers. You know, it's funny. I saw a tweet from Kuzma who says something about, I don't know the exact words, but it was something about, for those, diehard Lakers fans who don't remember, when we were winning, or something, and being through all these losing. He basically said something that the diehard Lakers fans, he made it sound like, most of the Lakers fans don't remember us winning. Most of the diehard Lakers fans, we're used to, like, we've been around way longer than these 6 years. Like myself, I've been around Lakers fan for 33 years. So I remember most of those 30 years, we were making playoffs every year. We're used to going to the finals, in and out, and we're used to winning. That 6 years was an anomaly. So anyway, I didn't quote exactly what he said, but I just thought that was funny the way it was. He's so young and he's been on the team. All he knows is we losing the whole time. So he doesn't necessarily remember all those decades of winningness with the Lakers. That's why we are second in the NBA in championships won. We got 16. Boston got 17. We are looking to try to get number 17 this year and tie them up. So that's that was interesting, I thought. So anybody out there, you guys in the room, do you have any if you would like to call in, hey, feel free. That would be cool. We can discuss any kind of topic, NBA or Lakers, that may be on your mind. Or you can make a comment if you like. Appreciate you guys. Also, I am starting to put some videos on YouTube. So if you could please also subscribe on my YouTube page. It's Lakers Talk with Gerald. I would appreciate that. Trying to get my subscribers up. I'm trying to put more content out there. Trying to, just trying to get it come up in the world. So once again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Appreciate you. I think that's your name, your stage name on there. So appreciate your that clap you sent. Much love. Here, clap. All right. So what else is going on in the world of the NBA? What is the rest of our schedule? So let's go ahead and just look at the rest of our schedule in this bubble, and then I'll be curious to see, when the playoffs start. 'Cause it's not an official time put out yet, but let's just see. Let's see what what we're looking at. So tomorrow, Wednesday, we already talked about the Lakers play the Thunder. Thursday we play the Rockets. Then we'll be off on let's see. So Thursday, as I mentioned, we play the Rockets. We'll be off on Friday. On Saturday, we'll play the Pacers. That should be game number 6. Sunday, August 9th, we are off. And then Monday, August 10th, we'll play the Nuggets. And then we'll have one day off, August 11th. Then August 12th, so we'll have August 11th and 12th off for the Lakers. And then our last quote-unquote regular season game is going to be against the Kings on August 13th. The time is to be determined. I don't know why they don't know the times for that, but that's interesting. But those are the last ones, so they're going to come fast. We're getting there. We're almost 8 days away from the end of these regular season playing games, and then we can get to the good stuff. We can get to the NBA, get to the NBA playoffs. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's when it's really going to get exciting to me, at least. That's going to say a whole lot. I get to see how the Lakers look in the playoffs for the first time, how LeBron James look in a Laker uniform in the playoffs. That's going to be, man, I've been waiting for this since last year. I thought it was going to happen last year, but LeBron got hurt, so we weren't able to make that happen. But this year, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be dope to me. and I'm looking forward to it. So, man, so many great things, fun things to look forward to. We still, we're not going to exactly know who we're playing in the first round, but right now it's kind of looking, the way I'm seeing it, it's looking like Portland might find their way into that first round. And it looks like we may have to play a tough Portland team, a gritty Portland team, with Damian Lillard, McCollum, CJ, that both of them dudes are all-star status and balling out. And don't forget, they got, they also got Anthony, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Anthony, yeah, Carmelo. Thank you. Appreciate you for helping me out right there. I kind of got caught up for a second. Couldn't remember his name for the life of me. I don't know why. I could picture his face, but couldn't quite remember that name. But yeah, we gotta, they're gonna be tough, man. They got, man, and look, Carmelo Anthony can get hot with the best of them, man. He could get hot and he could play like that third star. He could have them, he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be hyped. They're getting back in the playoffs. He had been out of the league for a while. No team had picked him up in a while. So that's going to be an interesting series, man. And think about this. And that's going to actually be a little nice, because think about it. Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James both coming out the same year, both being, I believe top 2 or 3 picks. I'm trying to think, was Carmelo 2 or 3? I think he should have been 2 if he wasn't, but I think what's name got picked before him. But either way, they were the top 2 players really in that first year. Carmelo was actually balling out. Carmelo damn near won Rookie of the Year, and a lot of people argue that he probably should have won Rookie of the Year. His stats were right up there. But overall, LeBron just kind of had better overall stats. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup. I think that's going to be pretty cool, right? So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. First round will be tough, man. So I'm foreseeing the way it's looking out. If Houston holds the position that they are, we would have to play Portland in the first round. That would be a tough series, but I foresee us getting past. Then we'd have to play a gritty, tough Houston team too that shoots 40, 45 threes a game. And then they got, it's hard to stop Harden because, damn near everything. He's so herky-jerky. He gets fouled like so easily and he knocks down all these threes. And then, of course, you got speedy, Westbrook that's just speeding all over the place. So it's hard to keep up with him. So, those guys can penetrate so easy and they got all these 3-point shooters. They can kick out and knock it down. Man, so yeah, that'll be interesting. So you said you're watching a game now, huh? What game is that? You said you're watching, Oh, you must be watching it delayed because it said you're watching Orlando and Pacing game because I see the score is already in the books, but I'm not going to let me know. You already know the score or not? Because I don't want to spoil it for you because the game is over. Do you know the score though? You know who won? Okay. But, oh, you don't? Okay, well, I don't want to spoil it for you then. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm not going to say it. I did go over all the scores, but it was before you came in the room. Are you sure? Okay. All right. I don't know who you're rooting for, though. Let's see. So look. Okay, yeah. So it looked like Pacers won 120-109. They beat Orlando. And really, Orlando, let's see, where are they at in the standings? I think Orlando, all right, so they're 8th position, but they're not worried about even losing that 8th spot because Washington is so many games behind. Washington got 7 more losses than Orlando at this point. So, their position is pretty much secure. The only thing they got to worry about is if they get the 7th or 8th spot. Brooklyn and Orlando is going to be going back for that position. And really, I don't think either one of them wants to play either one of the teams they would have to face because it's either they play Toronto, who's a tough team, or Milwaukee, who's a tough team. So either one of those teams are going to beat either one of the 7th and 8th teams. It don't matter whether it's the Nets or whether it's Orlando. They're both going home. So before playoffs, it's 8 total regular season games, and so far most of the teams have played 3 of those 8. So there's somewhere around 5 or so games left to play, and so with 5 games left, Washington being 7 games out, it's possible they can get within 4 games and have a play-in, but I don't think most of their people in Washington didn't make it to this bubble. All they're good people for the most part. So I don't think they're going to really challenge to even get that position. I don't think they're going to be good enough to win enough games to make up the 3 games they would have to make up. That's just my thought and feeling on that. And I don't think they care. I think they want to hurry them get out the bubble and get back home, get to their lives and stuff. That's probably what they're feeling because they know they're not going to make any dent, even if they do make the playoffs. So I think they just probably want to finish their regular season bubble and get back home. How does this Zoom work? So if you're in Podbeam, all you got to do is request to call in through this app. And I just accept it. Yeah. So what do you mean? What do you mean? How does Zoom work? The Zoom thing. You mean what we're on right now? Right now, this is using Podbeam. All right. I see. I'll accept you now. Hello. Welcome.
Yo, hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing tonight?
All right. My name's Gerald, man. I've been good to meet you, man. Yeah. The S2P, that's just my logo. But yeah, my name's Gerald, man. I've been on Podbean for a little bit, but I was asking because I'm looking at the game and you got people on the sidelines, like the fans, like they're zooming and watching the game.
I hear you.
You see them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, how does that work?
You know what? Be honest, those are people and actually fans, and they're streaming somehow, but I don't know how they get picked. I don't know how they get picked and decided to, be the ones on those screens. But, because I see people, I was watching and they got people there playing guitar and they're trying to do all this stuff to get featured on there. But that is interesting. I wish I knew. I definitely would try to somehow be submitted so I could be on some of the Lakers screen or something. That would be kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, how they get picked to be on there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know if it's maybe season ticket holders. Maybe they got priority.
Yeah.
How that stuff goes. Sometimes they get that kind of the insight. They probably get emails or contacted asking if they wanted to. And that's what I would think. I don't know. I'm a big time Lakers fan for forever, but I'm not any kind of level to get season tickets, especially now. It's way too expensive. Lakers are.
I know, man. I was trying to hook my dad up with some, season tickets football, but man, I seen that they had like a waiting list and all that because he's in Houston, and I was trying to get him some, tickets for the Houston Texans, and that was like 3-4 years ago, and I'm still like on the waiting list.
Oh, really?
I was like, this is crazy. Yeah, season tickets and all kind of stuff. Like, man, this is crazy. So
it is.
But yeah, man. So the Lakers, man. My son's uncle, man, he's a LeBron fan. I'll say that. So wherever LeBron goes, that's his team.
Got it.
So.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. They LeBron fans, or they might be just Kobe fans. Back when Kobe was around and. Yeah, man. I've been just a Lakers fan myself, so I just whoever's on the team, that's who and the previous guys that were with the team, I wish the best for them, but I'm Lakers. I just stick with my team. What about you?
Right. Man, I don't really. I'm from Texas, so I've liked the Dallas Mavericks for so long. I'm talking about back when they had like Popeye Jones and back then Mavericks, but I kind of just maybe the Mavericks. I like and Houston. I really like Houston.
I was gonna say you guys, yeah, and you got Houston. So you guys, and then
San Antonio. I mean, when San Antonio was,
San Antonio they got a chance to get that to fight for that 8 spot too. You know,
The 8 spot, yeah,
they
yeah.
they've been playing decent. They could possibly, you know, they're only, let's see, you know, they're right behind Portland. They're right now they're 2 games out of that 8th position, but really all they got to do is battle for that 9th position. So they're only a half
Okay.
game. They're only a half game behind Portland. So
Mm.
that's all they got to do is get that 9th position, and they fighting for whoever that 8th spot is. And
Cool. Thanks for that info. Cause I ain't really been looking at the, the seeds and everything. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Okay.
yeah,
I'm actually I need to get on here and read some of this, see what's going on. Cause I've been waiting for sports to come back. But I work night shift. I'm at work now. I work night shift. So I'll just, I'll get off, go to sleep. And then if it's a sports game on, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about, I've been watching just anything that's been on. I've been looking
really, you
at
watching
golf.
oh, oh, say, but we went so long without regular sports. I was just waiting for anything myself. I couldn't wait. Now we got
Yeah, man.
how long it's gonna go, but well, didn't Tiger go and get on there for one like 9 rounds? Or,
Bro, man, man, I don't even know. Like I said, if I come in and there's something on TV at work, I'll just flip to it and then I'll watch. But I don't remember seeing Tiger, man. I'm not sure.
I saw him
I'm not sure about that.
I saw him on ESPN today. He said he went somewhere. He played like 9 holes somewhere. I heard.
Oh, okay.
Get himself back up. Get himself
Gotcha.
up there. So.
I ain't even really been watching a lot of the sports shows either. I mean, I used to watch Skip and Shannon every night, but I ain't even been watching that lately. So, but cause usually I try to catch them in the mornings at work, but then my other staff come in, my coworkers, and they'll flip to something like Jerry Springer or something, and I'm like, whatever, So I don't even care.
Right. So tell me, how'd you come to find this live tonight? Were you just going looking and seeing who's live, just jumping on?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I usually, I haven't been on as much as I have been probably for the past couple of weeks, but yeah, I usually try to get on, once a day and, just see who's on and I'll kind of just go through. I've been on here for a few months now, about 3-4 months. And, it's kind of, I have just some regulars that are on here that I'll go into and chat with and everything. And then if I see somebody new, I'll go in their room and show some support and just kind of sit in and talk in the chats or whatever, and follow and all that good stuff. Because the same thing happened to me. I got on and I was surprised at how many people that come in your room and say hey and start following. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like the Podbean community, everything. So,
Right.
And I kind of just was just on it, man. And, we started it, me and my brothers, we started it because, we was trying to figure out where to go to do our pods. And cause this is our first time doing pods this year. And the first place I came was Podbean. Yeah. First place I came was Podbean. And we've been on here ever since. Man.
So what's your podcast that you're doing?
We do like more of a religious based show, but we put like I guess you could say like a little spin on it, I guess. I don't know. We talk about just pretty much anything, but we relate it back to, God's word, relate it back to the Bible. And then not only that, we're musicians too. So we do some music stuff. We're finna start doing more music stuff on our shows. But if you go back and listen to some of our pods, man, you'll, it's just a little music here and there, but I think we need to start doing, I was talking to my partner the other day. I was like, man, we need to start doing more music stuff, if that's what we're trying to promote as well. We're doing like gospel, but it's like with the hip hop or, rap music behind it. So long story short, but yeah, that's what it's about. God's word put to music basically. So.
Nice.
And just talking and everything. So
very nice. And you said you started doing that recently, the last so many months?
Yeah, probably we started about a few months ago. A few months ago is when we started doing it. We do pre-recorded. We don't really go live much. We do pre-recorded stuff. But I personally I've been going live for for us. Our work schedules conflict. So, we don't really get time to sit down and do a lot of pods here. I say for the past month, but I'll try to get on live and post something anyways. So just to keep the, like the algorithms up, your algorithm, your
Right.
activity. So I'll get on and go live, or I'll go on some, but I'm on here pretty much every day. But like when I first started, I was on her like all day, every day, just in people's chat rooms, so I haven't, but, haven't done much of that lately. So,
Yeah, no,
but
that's
yeah, man.
nice. I literally 'cause I've been doing podcasts with Podbeam. And it was almost 2 years come November, but I was
Oh, really?
yeah, but I wasn't doing live.
Okay.
I didn't actually know there was live for a long time on here. I was just recording them and then edit and then I would upload them on Podbean. So
Okay.
and recently, within the last month or so or two, I finally discovered it, and I just tried it one night, just random. But I'm starting to discover like, oh wow, there's a lot of people that's on live and people, like you said, jumping in each other's room, and it's kind of a little
Mm,
community here. And so I'm like, man, this is a good way to interact with people. As I'm doing live, if somebody jump in, you can call in and we can discuss all kind of different topics, kind of add a different flavor to it, and
mm.
it just build it. And it's kind of, to me, even if I jump in somebody else live, it's kind of interesting just to be able to just interact and talk in real time. It's a different.
Yeah, man. 'Cause it's just a lot, just a variety of people on here. I mean, you just got a little bit of everybody. I'll just say that. So,
I
yeah,
believe.
it's definitely interesting, entertaining. Some of the rooms, and you got a lot of people on here that I've seen that they love to play music, and sometimes you just they'll play music, or some people be, whatever they're going through, doing at that moment, they're doing like telling you what's going on. Some people, actually, it's a couple people I met in this past month, they do like movie night or something, and they'll let you hear what movie they're watching. They're like they're like commentating the movie.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
You got Yeah, you got people who do like live DJing and stuff on here now that I just seen this past week. A lot, and a lot of people like to just get in and play music on their show. So,
Huh.
but yeah, it's just a lot of variety, different variety. But I haven't seen really a lot of shows on sports. I know there's a guy named Mighty Sport. Met him a couple times. Pretty cool guy. He loves to talk sports. He loves to talk sports. Like he'll come to your chat if you ain't talking about sports. Like he'll talk to you, he'll engage, but he won't talk too much. But as soon as you say something about any sports figure, any sport, oh, he going off. He's just going. He's just
Right.
going. It's so funny too, man. It's funny
He's ready to get on.
it's so funny like a little kid, They it's just something, because that's still what he loves to talk about. As soon as you say something about sports, oh, he's finna go 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
So,
Something else.
but you, him, and I think I met one other person who does sports, but that's not many people talk, do the sports talk on here. So this is it's pretty cool, man. I ain't even seen him on Mighty on that much. I haven't even seen him on that much. So I know there's people like to get on here and talk about sports too. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's a good show to have. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
a good show.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's something, and my goal initially when I started doing this was just get to 100 episodes. So I initially wasn't planning on posting this one, but I think I'm gonna post this one since I've been doing this it's been about an hour almost. So I think
Oh,
I'm
okay,
almost
okay.
episode 99. So I'm almost to 100. We're almost there. But I'll post it, so it'll be on there. And so if you ever want to listen back, it'll be
Oh yeah.
all that stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna do these lives a lot more often now. I think I'm gonna do these majority of the time actually because I like it. I like the whole format. But appreciate you joining on
Mm.
this. I think I'm up on a hour for me, and it's 30 minutes after midnight where I'm at. So I'm probably about to wrap it up here shortly.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no,
Cool,
appreciate it.
cool.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, thanks for letting me call in, man. But yeah, I'm gonna be definitely checking you out, man. But you say you don't know when you're gonna go live next, but if I see you on, man, I'll definitely jump in for sure.
Yeah, I probably I've been doing them every really every 2 games. And the Lakers play tomorrow, so after the game, I usually go on and review the game, talk about it. So
Oh, okay.
it might be tomorrow.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
I'll put
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely be on tomorrow night then. Cause I'll be at work like I am now. Just be sitting here after I do my little whatever. And then, yeah, I'll just kind of be sitting around. So, but
All
cool,
right.
man. Thanks for letting me call up. But it was good talking to you, man. You have a good night, brother.
Same here. You have a good one too. Appreciate you.
Yes. All right.
All right. Talk to you later. All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for calling in. Thanks. That was pretty dope. So yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up. I've been doing this for about an hour now. Initially, when I started recording tonight, it was just random. I just wanted to get on here and start talking about the Lakers, start talking about NBA, just start talking about whatever's going on tonight. I didn't plan on actually making this a Lakers Talk with episode, but hey, been talking Lakers, been talking basketball, then it's officially episode 99. One episode away from the goal. Appreciate y'all. Anybody that's listening, if you could, if you're on Podbean, follow, subscribe. YouTube, please also, if you could subscribe to my channel, Lakers Talk with Gerald. Appreciate you. And I'm going to be officially about to get out of here, y'all. Typo. All right. Appreciate that. Good and bad.